ritma života sada u nervozi da povrati sve kako da bi funkcionisalo.
The man just lost a year of his life just trying to get everything back to work.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but we're glad to have you back on. It looks like my whole chat is being taken over by Serbs and Croatians, so this is a good thing.
Žao mi je to čujemo, drago mi je da smo ponovo tu. Izgleda da mi je ceo chat su mi preplavili Srbi i Hrvati.
Pa svađaju se verovatno.
Probably arguing.
A little bit, yes. Immediately when your internet got cut off, a Croatian guy said that you were running away from the question, but I didn't believe that.
Čim je nestao vama internet, odmah je jedan Hrvat rekao da ste vi pobegli od pitanja, a ja sam znao da to nije tačno.
Ne znam šta ste čuli posljednje kad je crkao internet.
I don't know what you heard last when the internet went out.
Some Croatian guy said that Deki ran away from the question about Operation Storm.
Yeah, but he was asking about what was that we were hearing the last, so we can continue.
Oh, okay, yes. I was asking him a question in regards to the future of the Balkans.
Pitao sam pitanje u vezi budućnosti Balkana.
U vezi budućnosti Balkana?
Yes. So I read an article about Operation Storm, and it talked about how there was a massacre that took place after Operation Storm in which Croatian soldiers massacred Serbian villagers.
So I've read this article. Čitao sam jedan članak o operaciji Oluja. Rekli su da je bio neki masakr koji se desio posle operacije Oluja gde su Hrvati pobili neki Srbi.
Vidite, u svakom ratu ima ratnih zločina. Kao što sam već rekao, nema strane koja ih nije činila. Uvek ima ljudi koji će ili iz ideala ili zbog novca ili zbog bilo čega da naprave ratne zločine. U građanskom ratu svi prave ratne zločine. Pravi su i Srbi, i Hrvati, i Bosanci, svi. Tako da svako ima neke svoje razloge za to. Ja to nikad ne mogu opravdati. Znači, prvog svog borca koga bi video da se iživljava na civilima, ja bi ga lično ubio. Ali to ne znači da svi tako razmišljaju.
Well, in every war you have war crimes. There isn't a single side or a party to war that hasn't done them, that hasn't committed the crimes. There are always people who will commit them for ideals or for money or for any reason. In a civil war, everybody does war crimes. Mm-hmm. Serbs, Croats, and Bosnians, all of them. Everybody has their reasons. I cannot condone this.
Right.
If I saw a single fighter on my side commit war crimes, I will kill him myself, but not everybody thinks like this.
Znate kako, operacija Oluja, ona je bila idealno isplanirana i idealno sprovedena sa hrvatske strane. Međutim, da bi ona potpuno uspjela, tu je trebala da bude velika predaja sa strane srpskog rukovodstva. Znači, pričamo i o rukovodstvu Srbije i oni su i mnogo pomogli u tome. Zašto se posle te operacije pojavili zločini na civilima? Jednostavno su Hrvati hteli da kažu više vas ne želimo ovde. Ubili su mnogo ljudi, snimili su to na kameru, pustili su na internet i to je bila poruka jasna za budućnost svih Srba koji su planirali da se vrate.
The Operation Storm was its planning was ideal, and its execution was ideal on the Croatian side. But for it to work, there had to be a huge treason on the side of the Serbian government, Serbian leadership. They've helped them about it a lot. Now, as to why the crimes against the civilians have happened afterwards, the Croats wanted to make a statement and to tell the Serbs, you're not wanted anymore. They've broadcast this to the internet, and that was the clear message.
So I remember reading this story, and it talked about how before the villagers were killed, the executioner drew a U on the ground, and he said, "This U is the golden letter representing the Ustasha," and then he killed them. So my question to you is, do you see Croatia similar to Ukraine in the sense that Ukraine still has this political ideology that's akin to Nazism, and Croatia has a political ideology that's still connected to the Ustasha, or it admires the Ustasha?
I read the story that...
Može na srpskom.
Never mind.
Čitao sam tu priču, bilo je kako pre nego što su ti civili bili ubijeni, jedan od tih počinilaca je bio napisao na zemlji i rekao je ovo slovo je zlatom ispisano i ubio je te ljude. I sad to me vodi ka pitanju, da li vidite Hrvatsku kao sličnu Ukrajini u tom smislu da Ukrajina ima još tu političku ideologiju nalik nacizmu, a Hrvatska također ima tu neku ideologiju koja je nalik nacizmu i koja veliča nacizmu?
Vidite, velika razlika postoji. Ja sam pričao o tome, ne znam da li ste čuli, kad se veza prekinula, veliki ratni zločini su vršeni na civilima u Bosni i Hercegovini. Rađeni su i u Hrvatskoj, ali mnogo manje nego u Bosni i Hercegovini. Manje je iživljavanja nad ljudima na teritoriju Ukrajine. Međutim, nacizam na teritoriju Ukrajine je mnogo veći nego što je bio na teritoriji Hrvatske. Mnogo veći. Da, tamo nas ne vole i ne žele da žive sa Srbima. Znaju da su dobili državu zahvaljujući našem predsjedniku Miloševiću, koji je tamo mnogo šta izdao. Međutim, on je morao da uđe u te ratove, ali nije smeo tako da se dogovara i da preda taj narod. Tako da Hrvati, da, oni, pričamo sad, imate normalnih ljudi koji ne žele ratove, imate ljudi koji žele. Ja mrzim ratove, ali jebi ga, nekad moraš da ratuješ da bi se nešto dobilo, da bi se nešto zaustavilo.
There's a major difference. I've talked about this already. I don't know if you've heard about, I was talking about it before the connection broke. So there were very big crimes against civilians in Bosnia. There was some in Croatia as well, but way more in Bosnia itself. There was a lot less of torturing of people on the territory of Ukraine by comparison. But the Nazi ideology on the territory of Ukraine is way bigger than it was in Croatia. Yes, they didn't want to live with Serbs over there, but and yes, they have gotten their country, independent country, thanks to our President Milošević, who was betrayed a lot. So he had to enter the wars, but he just mustn't have betrayed that people over there the way he did. So yes, the Croatians got it. Yes, some Croatians do want to wage more war, but they're normal people as well. So fuck it. You sometimes just have to wage war, whether it's to gain something or to prevent something.
Ne mogu da kažem da je u Hrvatskoj državna ideologija bila nacizam kao što je na teritoriji Ukrajine. Na Ukrajini je to mnogo gore, mnogo izraženije.
So I can't say that in Croatia there was a state ideology that was basically Nazi, like in the way in which it is in Ukraine. And in Ukraine it's way worse.
Why do you say that it's worse?
Zašto kažete da je gore?
Zato što je gore, to je država. Znači država propagira nacizam. Baš država, bukvalno država. Ne pojedinačni bataljoni, pojedinačni komandiri ili neki političari. To je državna ideologija. U Hrvatskoj nacizam nije bio državna ideologija, ovdje jest.
Because it's the state. The state is propagating Nazism. Literally the state itself. Not single battalions or certain commanders or politicians. In Croatia, it wasn't actually state-driven.
I see. Now, one thing I've noticed in Europe today is the rise of Germany. Germany has been growing militarily and becoming more and more independent and sees itself as basically the future defender of Europe. And I'm wondering, how does he see? Do you think that Germany will rise again like it did in the past?
Primetio sam da u Evropi postoji uspon Nemačke. Nemačka jača vojno i postaje nezavisna i vidi sebe kao budućeg branioca Evrope. Pa se pitam, da li mislite da će Nemačka da se uspe ponovo?
Vidite, kad je Olja snimala film Rat snajpera, prvi intervju koji sam joj dao, ona je meni rekla da sam ja neki radikalni ludak.
When Olja was making that film War of Snipers War, right after I gave her the first interview, she said that I'm some kind of a radical lunatic.
Zašto je to rekla? Rekla je zato što sam joj u tom intervju objasnio da rat u Siriji, Libiji je rat ne zbog toga da bi Amerika nešto krala odande, nego da bi velike kolone izbeglica došle u Evropu i oslabile Evropu.
So why did she say it? Because I've told her that the war in Syria and Libya wasn't a war that was being waged so that the U.S. would steal something, but so that huge columns of refugees would come to Europe and weaken Europe.
I tada još nisu bile uvedene sankcije, tad sam joj rekao da će Amerika terati Evropu kroz Međunarodni monetarni fond, terati Evropu da uvodi sankcije Rusiji, i to iz jednog prostog razloga da bi oslabila i Rusija i Evropa. U to vreme Amerika će trgovati sa Rusijom kao da se ništa ne dešava, pričamo nezvanično. I danas je Amerika najveći spoljnotrgovinski, možemo reći, kupac Rusije.
This is when the sanctions weren't instituted yet. I've told her that the United States would force Europe through IMF to institute sanctions to Russia so that they weaken both Russia and Europe. But now, and that the United States will actually, but the United States will continue on trading with Russia unofficially. And that America will become the single biggest buyer of Russian goods.
Zašto sam joj rekao da će to biti tako? Poslije sam ja objasnio, ona je rekla da se ja budala, međutim danas kaže da sve, ja sam joj pričao da će biti BLM, šta će sve da se desi, nisam nazivao BLM, ali tipa takav pokret će da se pojavi. I sve se to dešavalo zato što je Nemačka postajala samostalna i jaka država, a Americi ne treba Nemačka samostalna i jaka.
What did I tell this to her? Later I would explain to her. She would say that I'm a fool, but today she says that he was right. I've told her that there's going to be something like BLM. Now I didn't know what it was going to be called BLM, but something like that. All of this was happening because Germany was becoming independent and a strong country. America doesn't need an independent and strong Germany.
I sada, na primjer, pre godinu dana Nemačka je bila jaka i dosta nezavisna država, a sada je Nemačka veoma slaba i uopšte nije nezavisna država, tako da u ovom ratu koji se trenutno vodi, Amerika je jedan od većih pobednika. Znači pričamo o biznisu Amerike. Amerika kao država, ona ne postoji, to je jedna velika korporacija kojoj rukovode ljudi i američka armija, to je prosto ČVK tih ljudi koji rukovode tamo. Sada ne ulazimo duboko u sve to.
And now for example, a year ago, Germany was very strong and quite independent, but now Germany is very weak and it's not an independent state at all. So in this war that's being waged by America, America is one of the biggest winners. But we were talking about this in terms of business. America as a state doesn't exist. It's a huge corporation that's being governed by people. Izvinite, ovo poslije nisam čuo, rekli ste nešto UČK, tako nešto?
Ne UČK, nego to je časna vojna kompanija, znači kao Blackwater, znači američka armija je u stvari jednostavno plaćenička vojska tih biznismena koji drže Ameriku. Amerika realno kao država, ona davno ne postoji.
So it's the honorable military company like Blackwater. American army is a mercenary army led by businessmen that run it. But America as a state has been gone for a long while now.
I, na primjer, Amerika ne uništava sada samo Evropu i Rusiju. Trudi se, sa Rusijom je pogrešila. Amerika uništava srednji sloj u samoj Americi, zato što su ljudi počeli lepo da žive, a kapitalizmu to ne odgovara. I sada se dešavaju jako veliki problemi koji lako mogu da dovedu do građanskog rata u Americi, pošto taj biznis tamo ne trpi srednji sloj. Jednostavno ne sme da postoji.
For example, America is not only destroying Europe and Russia, it is trying to destroy Russia, but it's also destroying the middle class in America itself. People have begun living nicely and cozily over there, but capitalism doesn't like this. It doesn't behove capitalism. So there are great problems that can over there in America that can lead to a civil war, because the business doesn't put up with the middle class. Just can't have it around.
What does he see in the future for the world? Does he see a multipolar world? Does he see the American empire eventually collapsing? How does he see the future?
Kako vi vidite budućnost sveta? Da li vidite neki multipolarni svet ili možda kolaps takozvane američke imperije? Kako vi vidite budućnost?
Kolaps američke imperije ne može da proizađe zato što treba shvatiti šta je Americi potrebno. Znači ne američkom narodu, nego tim Amerikancima koji sada vode Ameriku. Amerika je velika država sa velikim mogućnostima i sa velikim vojnim potencijalom. Znači ona neće propasti, to je sigurno. Koliko god ljudi pričaju da je Amerika pri propasti, od toga nema ništa.
Of American collapse cannot happen, because what people need to realize is that America just would take a lot to collapse. Not the people itself, but the Americans that are leading it. They're leading the country. It's a huge country with huge possibilities and a huge military potential. So it certainly won't collapse entirely.
Međutim, svet se promenio zato što je Amerika jedina bila takva velika i jaka. U međuvremenu je mnogo je postalo velikih igrača na svetskoj sceni. To je Rusija jedan od glavnih, Rusija i Kina. Rusija vojno, Kina ekonomski, zatim se tu dižu već Indija, velike zemlje, tako da multipolarni svet će da promeni mnogo čega u svetu, međutim da će napraviti neki svet koji će da živi u miru, od toga nema ništa. Znači ratovi će kako se vodili, tako će se voditi, tako će se praviti i oni su uglavnom da bi se povećao kapital onih koji imaju već veoma mnogo.
The world has changed because America, ever since America has been the one and single superpower, holding all the might. But in the meantime, a lot of big players have entered the world stage. Russia is one of them. Russia and China. Russia militarily, China economically. There's also India that's rising. There are other large countries. And the multipolar world will change a lot. But in the meantime, the notion that it's going to change the world into something that's so peaceful, no, the wars are going to just continue happening the way they are already. There's no certainty of actual permanent peace coming. As to how they're going to be waged, well, they're going to be waged over increasing the capital.
Ljoša, daj kafu.
And sorry, did you say something?
Ne, ja Ljoši govorim što bi mi kafu doneo.
he was just already asking somebody to bring him some coffee.
Oh. Now, I agree that there is no guarantee for peace in the future. If there is a world war, which I believe there will be, who do you think will be the parties involved, the belligerents?
Slažem se da nema garancije za mir u budućnosti, ali ako bude bilo svetskog rata, koje mislite da će biti strane u tom ratu?
Vidite, treba velike sile, velike vojne sile, to su Amerika, Rusija, Kina, Turska i Indija. To su najveće vojne sile trenutno koje postoje. Turska, ona ne voli nikoga. Znači, Turci su biznismeni i u ovom ratu su to pokazali. Oni će da drže stranu onih od kojih mogu da imaju korist. Turci bi sarađivali sa, na primjer, sa NATO paktom u slučaju nekog velikog rata ako bi znali da mogu da dobiju Krim i druge teritorije.
So the large powers being America and Russia and China and Turkey and India, they will be the sides. Those are the largest military powers that are presently around the world. Turkey itself doesn't like anybody else. Turks are all businessmen, and they've shown this in this war. They just take the side of whoever's benefiting them. They would have cooperated with NATO should they thought they had a real prospect at regaining Crimea and other territories.
Krim je jedan veliki nosač aviona i veoma važna strategijska tačka. I ako bi krenuo neki veliki rat, uveren sam 100% da Rusija, Kina i Indija bi bili saveznici u tom ratu, zato što oni znaju da, Kinezi jako dobro znaju da u slučaju da Rusija izgubi rat, oni su sledeći. Zato Kinezi pomažu Rusiji ne toliko na diplomatskom, nego i da bi obišli sankcije na ekonomskom planu.
Is the famous aircraft carrier and an immensely important strategic point. If there was going to be a large war, I'm convinced that Russia, China, and India would be allies. Because they know, especially the Chinese know very well that in case Russia was to lose, they will be next. This is why Chinese are helping them, not only diplomatically, but also economically in circumventing the sanctions.
A svi se mi nadamo da neće doći do velikog rata, jer to bila katastrofa. Dovoljan je jedan lutak da zapusti jednu atomsku raketu i tada gotovo, nema sveta.
War is a catastrophe. All that it takes is for one lunatic to launch a single nuclear bomb, and there we go. There's no world anymore.
Possible.
That's a good point. Yes, all it takes is one event, and that reminds me of what took place recently in Poland. What are his thoughts on the story in which a missile launched from Ukraine hit Poland?
Dobro, poenta dovoljno je samo jedan događaj. Što je posljedno na ovo što se ovaj događaj u Poljskoj, šta mislite o ovoj raketi koja je bila lansirana na Poljsku?
Vidite, to je planirana akcija. To može da se dokaže iz više razloga. Prvo, Ukrajina gubi ovaj rat. Ona ga gubi kako god da se okrene, u svakom slučaju. Poljaci, ne znam da li vi u Americi imate tu informaciju, međutim oni su sa Ukrajincima potpisali dogovor da poljska policija može na teritoriji Ukrajine da funkcioniše, da radi sve što radi ukrajinska policija.
That was a planned affair, and this can be proven from many angles. Ukraine is losing the war. It's losing the war whichever way you look at it. Poland, I don't know if you have this information in the United States, but there's an agreement that the Polish police can do whatever it wants on the territory of Ukraine.
Poljska da, to smo pre 5-6 meseci potpisali.
This was signed 5 or 6 months ago.
Poljska, ona hoće da zauzme deo zapadne Ukrajine koji računa da je to njihova teritorija i ona istorijski jeste poljska teritorija.
Poland wants to take a part of Ukraine that it just regards as a part of its own territory, which it historically is, the western part.
I ja sam uveren da su Poljaci zajedno sa Ukrajincima isplanirali ceo taj napad. Zašto? Zašto to kažem? Vidite, ovo je Poljska, ovo je Ukrajina. Ruske rakete lete sa ove strane. Kako može protivavionska raketa umjesto da leti tamo, da odleti vamo? Znači, ispada da je ona pokušala da sruši raketu koja je ispaljena s teritorije Poljske. Nema nikakvog logičnog razloga da ta raketa uopšte odleti na Poljsku, te dve rakete. Ne postoji razlog. One su ispaljene konkretno sa ciljem da ubiju Poljake i da uvuku NATO u rat, ili da Poljska ima opravdanje za svoju armiju koja se već nalazi na teritoriji Ukrajine. Međutim, Zapad je shvatio da to može jako loše se završi. Verujem da je bilo tu i razgovora Putina sa nekim zapadnim liderima. Uglavnom, završilo se sve na najbolji mogući način.
I'm convinced that the Polish had this planned out with the Ukrainians, the whole attack. See, this is Ukraine, this is Poland. Russian missiles are coming from over there. So how can an anti-air missile fly from over here? It just looks like it's attempted to hit a missile that's coming from the territory of Poland, which just doesn't make any sense at all. The missiles were flying with the purpose of killing those Polish people, so that they would get NATO to start a war, and the Poland had a motivation of getting NATO into the war. So the Poland wanted to casus belli to enter the war.
Yes.
The West has realized this can end very badly. I believe that there were some talks between Putin and the Western leaders about it, and it all came out the best way possible at the end.
Yes, I agree with you on that. I agree with you. I read a statement from a Polish lawyer, a famous Polish lawyer, who himself said that there was a secret agreement basically between Poland and Hungary that if the war in Ukraine got bad enough, Poland would deploy troops into Western Ukraine and basically take parts that used to belong to Poland, like Lvov.
Sa vama, čitao sam izjavu poljskog advokata koji je sam rekao da je bio tajni dogovor između Poljske i Mađarske, ako se dovoljno pogorša rat u Ukrajini, da Poljska postavi svoje trupe i uzme delove Poljske koji su istorijski bili njeni, kao što je Lvov.
No, ja ne znam da li je bilo nekih dogovora, međutim Poljaci ne kriju da je to njihova želja. I po mom ličnom mišljenju najbolje bi bilo ako bi Ukrajina će u svakom slučaju kapitulirati, pitanje je samo kako će kapitulirati i koliko će izgubiti teritorije za to vreme. Ali po mom ličnom mišljenju najidealnije je zapadnu Ukrajinu predati Poljacima i zatim sve ove naciste odavde oterati tamo, znači koji su u ratu, i nek se Poljaci tamo muče sa njima kako znaju i umeju. A deo teritorije ostaviti ukrajinskim, jer neko mora da vraća dugove koje su zadužili.
I don't know whether there were some agreements over that, but the Polish are not hiding that that's a wish of theirs. According in my opinion, Ukraine is going to capitulate either way, and they're going to lose territories either way. Mm-hmm. The most ideal outcome would be to just hand over the West Ukraine to the Polish and just to chase off all the Nazis, to go and for them to just handle each other and have problems with each other. Mm-hmm. A part of territory should be left for the Ukrainians because somebody has to pay all those debts.
So that leads me to another question. When do you think the war will not necessarily end, but at least come to a ceasefire?
To me navodi ka sledećem pitanju. Kada mislite da će se rat završiti ili makar dovesti do nekog primirja?
Ovdje ja mislim da tu primirje ne postoji, taj rat mora se završiti vojnom pobjedom. Gdje god bi bila granica Ukrajine takva kakva je danas sa Ruskom federacijom ili sa nekim drugim oblastima, Zapad će finansirati sa oružjem i slaći ljude tamo i uvijek će biti problema. Rat bi se završio kad bi Rusija htjela da ratuje tako kako bi trebao da se vodi rat. Znači da krene avijacija, kako je potrebno da se uništava sve pred sobom i za mjesec dana bi rat bio gotov. Međutim, Rusija ratuje tako kao niko nikad nije ratovao na taj način da se štite ljudi toliko koliko se štite sad na tim teritorijama. Mi, znači lično mi kad smo išli, ja sam bio na kijevskom pravcu, tamo mi smo dolazili do Kijeva samog, imali smo opredeljene zadatke, znači nama je jako onemogućavalo pravilan rad, naređenje naših komandira da se prema civilima mora odnositi, znači mi kad znamo da u nekom naseljenom punktu ima terorista ili diverzanata, ne možemo funkcionisati kako treba funkcioniše armija, nego moraš sve kulturno, sve fino, to jako smeta i to usporava kraj rata.
I don't think that there's a place to have any truce about it. It has to be over with a military victory. Whenever there would be a border between the Russian Federation and Ukraine, the West will always just be financing it with guns and it will keep sending men, and there will be problems. The war would end if the war would be waged properly, and it would just immediately be over. And if there was the Air Force just working its thing, and it would have been done in a month. But the war is not being waged as it should be. There's the imperative of protecting people on all those territories. We personally, when we were almost at Kiev, we were reaching Kiev itself, and we had assignments. But we were prevented and unable to properly wage war because the commanders had this order to treat the civilians with utmost care. So when we would know that there are terrorists or diversionary forces somewhere, we just couldn't operate. Everything had to be done extremely nicely. This is just slowing. Grinding the war to a halt.
Također Rusija ima ima koristi od toga što ovaj rat ide malo duže već. Ako bi se brzo završio, ne bi se očistili redovi u ruskoj armiji i u ruskoj politici. Vidjelo se koliko ima oficira koji nisu kompetentni da vode armiju, mnogi su uhapšeni, mnogo je ljudi smenjeno, mnogo je izdajica pronađeno, tako da je taj rat doneo mnogo čega dobrog Rusiji i što duže traje, sve više se čisti. Znači ovdje isto ima korupcije, taj ko kaže da ne postoji korupcija u Rusiji, taj ili budala ili laže namerno. Korupcija ima svuda, međutim sad sve to izlazi na vidjelo. Sve izlazi na vidjelo i jedino što se meni sviđa od svega toga je što te ljude hapse. Znači Rusija se čisti od smeća koje se godinama skupljalo. Jer koliko god ljudi na zapadu pričali da je Rusija nedemokratska država, Rusija je jedna veoma liberalno kapitalistička država. I to je dovelo do mnogih problema koji su isplivali na videlo s ovim ratom.
Well, also there are benefits to Russia from this war carrying on. If the war was to be concluded sooner rather than later, there wouldn't be a purging within the ranks of the Russian army and among the Russian politicians. This war brought to light some of the incompetent officers. There have been a lot of people who have been replaced and fired. There have been a lot of traders that were arrested. So that's some of the good, a lot of good that this war brought to Russia. The longer it lasts, the more this trash will be just swept clean. Those who say that there's no corruption in Russian Federation is either a fool or a willful liar. Now everything is being brought to light. What I like about it is that these people are getting arrested. Russia is being purged from its trash. Now, as much as the people in the West are saying that Russia is a non-democratic country, no, Russia is a very liberal capitalist country, and this has led to a lot of problems.
Okay, and that leads me to another question that I have. When this war, whenever that may be, comes to a negotiation and a peace settlement, what do you think Russia will get out of Ukraine as far as territory goes?
Sljedeće pitanje, kada se ovaj brat bude nekako završilo, kad god to bude bilo, i kad bude došlo pregovora i mira, šta mislite da će Rusija od svega toga dobiti u teritorijalnom smislu?
Ja mislim samo ove teritorije koje su trenutno zauzete, koje su proglašene ruskom teritorijom, i ja sam uveren 100% da će Odesa isto, oblast Odese, da će postati ruska teritorija. Lično moje mišljenje, Odesa, verovatno i Pridnjestrovlje, zato što Moldavija sama sebi pravi probleme, tamo će narod da se podigne i da traži prisjedinjenje Rusiji, zato što im je jako teško trenutno da žive. A Odesa, ona je jako važan grad i uvek je to bio tako i jevrejsko prorusijski grad. I oni će ići u Rusiju 100%. Znači kad se rat završi, oni će da traže prisjedinjenje Rusiji. Ja uveren sam u tom 1.000.000%. Za druge teritorije ne znam, ali mislim da to hoće.
Territories that are, there's going to be only these territories that are presently occupied and that proclaim the Russian territory. Odessa 100% is going to be an oblast or a region of the Russian Federation. That's just my personal opinion. Pridnestrovye as well, because Moldavia is making a lot of problems, and the people over there are just going to rebel. They're going to just hold a referendum and ask to be annexed by Russian Federation. Odessa has always been a very important territory. It's a Jewish pro-Russian place, and it's 100% going to go to Russia. They're just going to vote and join Russia, and there's going to be a 1,000,000% I'm certain. As for other territories, I just don't know.
Koliko je kod njega sati?
Go ahead.
Koliko je kod njega sati tamo?
What's the time over at your place?
It is 1:14 p.m. Is it too late where you're at?
1 sat i 40 minuta popodne, je vam previše kasno tu da ste vi?
Ne, ja vidim da čovjek zeva, rekao možda je tamo jako kasno.
He's saying, well, he's just seeing the man yawn, so I figured it must be.
Was I yawning? I wasn't yawning. Listen, I would love for this conversation to go as long as we can. Like, I'm enjoying this.
Ja bih volio da ovaj razgovor postane koliko god je moguće, ali ne možemo.
Ja, nikakav problem, vremena imamo, tako da.
It's not a problem, we have plenty of time.
Okay, great. Now, here's another question that I have. So when the war finally comes to a conclusion, let's say Russia gets Donbass, Luhansk and Donetsk become a part of the Russian Federation. How will the far right, or would there be a violent reaction in Ukraine from the far right, from the ultra nationalists against Zelensky?
Prvo sad, to mi se vodi ka drugom pitanju. Kada se ovo završi, recimo sad da Rusija pobedi, da Donetska republika i Luganska republika se prihvati da su izgubljene, kako će ta ekstremna desnica reagovati? Hoće li kako će se ono krenuti protiv Zelenskog? I samo malo napomene, ja bih vas ljubazno molio da samo imamo kraće segmente i meni opet došle ruke kad sam se ovo dopište.
A, ti kucaš još?
Pa ne mogu da popamtim drugačije.
Svaka ti čast, tako možeš tako brzo kucaš. Desnica je već protiv Zelenskog. Međutim, Zelenski, oni dobro znaju da Zelenski realno tamo ništa ne kontroliše i nikakva rješenja on ne donosi.
The far right is already against Zelensky, but they know full well that Zelensky just isn't in control of anything.
U aprilu mesecu kad je Zelenski teo da pregovara, njega su odveli Amerikanci s teritorije Ukrajine, odveli su ga bili u Poljsku i oni su tada donosili rešenje i od tada ih oni donose do današnjeg dana.
So in April, when he wanted to negotiate, that was the Americans that took him out of Ukraine into Poland, and ever since they have been in charge of the things. Since then, they've been in charge, complete charge.
A svi nacionalistički bataljoni, oni su objedinjeni i oni su pod kontrolom SBU, to niko ne krije, to je javno rečeno tamo. Tako, SBU to je služba bezbednosti Ukrajine.
All the Ukrainian Nazi battalions are all under the control of the Ukrainian intelligence security services, and this is a widely known fact.
Tako da kontrolisan je Zelenski i kontrolisani su nacionalni bataljoni. Šta će se desiti? Pri kraju rata Zelenskom treba da se sudi. Zelenskog su mogli ubiti Rusi 1.000.000 puta do sada, nisu želeli.
So both Zelensky and the national battalions are under control. What will happen at the end of the war? The Zelensky needs to be trialed, but the Russians could have taken him out plenty of times.
Kad dođe vreme da Ukrajina izgubi taj rat, ja mislim da će ljudi koji trenutno štite Zelenskog truditi se svim sredstvima da ga ubiju, da ne bi živ pao u ruke i da ne bi išao na sud. Kad ode na sud, on će tada morati da kaže koga je držao, koga je finansirao, ko je davao naređenje.
So when the time comes for Ukraine to lose, the people securing Zelensky will have to kill him so that he wouldn't be arrested alive. Because if he was to brought to court, and he would just have to confess who was keeping him, who was controlling him, managing him, and financing him.
I see. So he sees the ultra-nationalist just killing Zelensky in the future.
Znači vi vidite to da će ultranacionalisti da na kraju ubiju Zelenskog u nekoj prošlosti.
Pa ja se nadam da će on biti dovoljno pametan da im nekako pobegne ako uspe i da će ostati živ, da će doživjeti sud.
Hope that he will be smart enough to somehow just get away from them and to stay alive so that he will be brought to trial.
Gotcha. Now I have another question for him. He brought up Turkey.
Sad imam još jedno pitanje, znači pomenuli ste Tursku.
Do you think that the Ottoman Empire will come back? Do you think that Turkey will revive its empire again, or at least try?
Da li mislite da će da se vrati Osmanlijsko carstvo, da li mislite da će Turska nekako da povrati Osmanlijsko carstvo ili pokušati?
Oni to žele, ali da bi vratili Osmansko carstvo, znači Evropa mora da bude uništena ekonomski i vojno u potpunosti i Rusija treba da bude uništena vojno i ekonomski u potpunosti. Tako da od toga nema ništa. To je uglavnom unutar politička.
So they would like to see that happen, the Ottoman Empire brought back, but for that to happen, to transpire, Europe has to be destroyed entirely financially and politically, and Russia has to be destroyed as well entirely and economically, and there's just no way that will happen.
To je unutar političko, znači sve to što pričaju trenutno u Turciji po vraćanju Osmanske imperije, to je čisto da se smiri situacija nekako na teritoriji Turske gdje su veliki finansijski problemi i gdje je jako velika inflacija.
So this is an internal political question. What the Turks are talking about bringing it back, that's just a way to settle the internal issues, especially the financial issues on the territory of Turkey, which are very substantial.
Now, does he see a future war between Russia and Turkey over control of the Black Sea and the Mediterranean?
U budućnosti neki budući rat između Rusije i Turske, možda oko Crnog mora ili Mediterana?
Čisto sumnju.
I really doubt it.
I see. I disagree. I think that eventually there will be a conflict between Russia and Turkey.
Ja se ne slažem, meni se čini da će definitivno biti eventualnog rata između Rusije i Turske.
Već sam odgovorio, ja mislim da Turci su previše pragmatični da bi ušli u rat koji mogu da izgube. Oni su trgovci. Turci koji su nekad bili ratnici više nisu. Ako mogu da istrguju nekako, to oni će da urade, ali da uđu u otvoreni sukob, čisto sumnjam.
The Turks are just too pragmatic about this. This is why I doubt it. They're the merchants, first and foremost. Those who were warmongers among them, the militants, they've died already. If they can get those objectives, achieve them by a trade of sorts, they will do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, NATO...
Ne znači da sam ja u pravu. To je moje mišljenje, ne znači da sam ja u pravu, ja čisto tako mislim.
It's just my opinion, it doesn't have to be true. That's just the way I think.
That's fine. But the way I see it is because NATO made Turkey the second most armed country in NATO. The United States made Turkey the second most armed country in NATO. And the reason for this was because NATO wants to use Turkey as a proxy against the Russians in the Mediterranean. And go ahead.
Ja to vidim zato što je NATO učinio Tursku drugom najvećom vojnom silom unutar NATO-a. Sad Amerika je tako učinila i razlog je to je razlog kog NATO hoće da iskoristi Tursku protiv Rusije.
Da, ja sam saglasan sa tim. Oni su je pravili za taj princip. Zašto im treba jaka Turska? Treba im jaka Turska zato što su oni davali Turcima, znate ono što sam pričao malo ranije, znači treba da kažete ljudima da su veliki, da će moći nešto da dobiju, da su oni najbolji i onda ih uvučete u rat. NATO je to radio s Turskom.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with this. This is why they've developed this very principle, because they need this strong Turkey, and they've made allowances to Turkey in that regard. Like I've already said a while ago, all you have to do is tell people that they're great, that they're better than other people, and that NATO has been using this, exploiting this.
Mm-hmm. Problem Amerikanaca je što oni misle da svi razmišljaju kao oni. A Turci su trgovci i Turci su vidjeli svoju priliku da dobiju jaku armiju, a da ne ulože previše u to. I oni su to iskoristili i jedna od najsamostalnijih država uopšte u NATO-u to je Turska. Baš zato što su im Amerikanci napravili jaku armiju.
The problem of Americans is that they assume that everybody thinks like they do. Turks are merchants, and they've acquired an army that is very strong without actually making a lot of investments. But Turkey is one of the most independent countries within NATO.
Yes.
And this is entirely due to American activities.
But does he ever see Turkey maybe going rogue away from American power and trying to establish hegemony over parts of the Black Sea, Mediterranean, and then in that type of situation, conflicting with Russia and eventually the whole situation intensifying into or exploding into an actual conflict over the Mediterranean? Because remember, Turkey controls the straits. Turkey controls the straits into the Mediterranean, and perhaps that will be a point of contention between Russia and Turkey.
Ali Turska sada ima svoje ambicije i pikira na Sredozemlje i na Crno more i kao ostvarivanju izvršne hegemonije. I u toj situaciji moguće je da će doći do sukoba između Rusije i Turske, koji može da eksplodira vremenom. Turska kontroliše Moreluze koji pristupaju Crnom moru i možda će to biti upravo tačka spora između Rusije i Turske.
Sve je moguće, ja mislim da neće, ali sve je moguće.
Well, it's all possible. I don't think that's going to happen, but it is possible.
Fair enough. I have some more questions for you. Does he ever see a future war between Germany and Russia, or perhaps the European Union and Russia?
Da li možda vidite u budućnosti da može se desiti neki rat između Nemačke i Rusije ili Evropske unije i Rusije?
Jedan od razloga zašto Rusija ne uništava mostove kojima se dovozi oružje iz Evrope na teritoriju Ukrajine je taj da se Evropa obezoruži.
So one of the main reasons that Russia is not destroying the bridges that are being used to transport arms from Europe is so that the Europe would be disarmed that way.
I da bi došlo do nekog rata, Evropa mora da ima jaku armiju. Međutim, u Evropi je armija sve slabija i slabija i imaju sve manje i manje oružja. Rusi ih vešto dovlače da dođu na teritoriju Ukrajine i uništavaju.
For such a war to erupt, Europe has to have a strong army, and Europe's army is growing weaker and weaker. They have no guns. Russia has been very astutely been driving them so that they would bring all their guns in Ukraine where they would be destroyed.
Ja kad bi vam rekao koliko sam video ubijenih ukrajinskih vojnika i stranaca i koliko ima uništene tehnike, vi bi rekli da lažete, da lažem. Zato se ja i trudim da ne pričam o nekim ciframa, međutim cifre su prosto ogromne, nezamislive, prosto nezamislive.
I want to tell you how many dead soldiers, killed soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers and foreigners and military equipment that I've seen, you would have said that I was lying. This is why I'm trying not to talk about those numbers, because the numbers are just immense. They're unbelievably large.
Okay, but tell me more. But tell me about that, because I'm willing to. I'm not like a typical American who's just going to reject everything you say.
A moje osjećanje više o tome, mene baš to mnogo zanima, ja nisam kao tipičan Amerikanac, mene baš zanima to što ćete reći.
Znači ja ću vam reći cifre koje su izneli američki generali. Izneli su cifre da gine, znači mesečno, oko 15.000 vojnika na teritoriju Ukrajine.
The official numbers that the American generals have published, they've said that 15,000 soldiers are dying on a monthly basis.
I to su umanjene cifre poprilično.
Those numbers are actually diminished significantly.
Okay, those numbers by diminished you mean?
Sorry, underreported.
Underreported. Okay. And how many? Because he brought up foreign fighters. How many foreign fighters do you think have gone to Ukraine to fight for Ukraine against Russia?
Pominjali ste strane borce. Koliko mislite da je stranih boraca došlo iz Ukrajine da se bori, iz inostranstva da se bori u Ukrajini?
Do pre nekih nedelju dana bilo ih je otprilike 65.000. Od toga je ubijeno i ranjeno oko 25.000, znači još otprilike 40.000 ih ima koji su borbeno sposobni.
A week ago there was 65,000 of them. In the meantime, there were about 25,000 killed and wounded. So there's about 40-ish thousand of those who are battle ready that remain.
That's a huge number. That's a whole
Najveći broj
army.
je Poljaka.
Niste čuo koliko Poljaka?
Najveći, jesli procentualno tamo iz kojih država ima, najviše ima Poljaka.
Percentage, most of them by far come from Poland. Vame te bio rekao da su to ogromni brojevi.
Jesu, ja sam saglasan s tim, to su ogromni brojevi.
Yes, those are huge numbers.
It's a whole army. That's literally an entire army of people.
To je čitava vojska ljudi.
Pa vidite, tamo je front 1700 km.
See, there's a battle line that's 1,700 kilometers wide.
65.000 na toj površini, to je ništa, to je ništa. Tu treba da ima oko 600.000 vojnika da bi mogli da drže određene linije fronta.
So 65,000 men is actually nothing for that kind of a war line. That kind of a front needs at least 600,000 men just to be able to hold the line.
Now, what gets me about the polls is that Ukrainian nationalists did the most horrendous massacres on the Polish people during the Second World War, and it seems like the Poles have forgotten about this and have become completely drunk, intoxicated with their pro-Ukraine sentiment.
Zato što je meni fascinira tu kod Poljaka. Tokom Drugog svjetskog rata Ukrajinci su bili izvršili strašne pokolje nad Poljacima, ali Poljaci bez obzira sada su se potpuno nekako napili tim proukrajinskim sentimentom i potpuno to ignorišu u korist tog podržavanja Ukrajine.
Vidite, Poljaci ne podržavaju Ukrajinu.
Polish aren't actually supporting Ukraine.
Poljaci ratuju na teritoriju Ukrajine da bi ostvarili neke svoje ciljeve, to jest da vrate zapadnu Ukrajinu Poljskoj.
They're actually what they're actually doing is they're achieving their own objectives of bringing some parts of Ukraine to their own fold.
That makes sense.
Da, to ima smisla.
That makes sense. What do you think? This is a question that probably requires a very long answer. But what do you think Americans, generally speaking, get wrong when it comes to Russia in this war?
Sad ovo je vjerojatno dugo pitanje, ali šta mislite da obično Amerikanci shvataju pogrešno u ovom celom ratu i sa Rusijom uopšte?
Koji Amerikanci? Narod ili američka armija ili političari ili ko?
Which Americans are you referring to? The people, the American people, or the politicians, or some of the critics?
American people who are interested in this topic, right? They tend to be pro-Ukraine, very anti-Russia. Like Chris Cappy, like that type of person.
Pa narod koji je zainteresovan za ovu temu, tu je proukrajinski narod, ili i antiruski narod, recimo kao ovaj Chris Cappy sa kojim ste razgovarali.
Znate kako, u Americi sloboda slova odavno ne postoji. Zatvaraju sve alternativne izvore informacija, tako da oni veruju onome što im se prezentuje. A ovaj američki vojnik je mnogo čega dokazao, što sam, znači taj s kojim sam pričao, što sam ja inače mislio o američkoj vojsci.
So, America, the freedom of speech hasn't existed for a long while. All the alternative sources of information have been quelled. This man that I've talked to has confirmed a lot of what I thought about the American military.
Which man?
Cappy.
And what did you think? Like what assumptions did you have that were confirmed by that conversation?
A koje ste to imali pretpostavke koje je taj razgovor potvrdio?
Vidite, ja sam imao prilike da pričam sa zarobljenim Amerikancima i kod nas kad je bio rat, znači na Kosovu, i sad kad je bio ovde na teritoriji Ukrajine. I svi su otprilike imali istu priču i jako slab nivo inteligencije. Znači ovaj koji je taj Kepil, kako se već zvao, pokazao se dosta glupim čovekom, neobrazovanim, koji ne može da shvati šta se dešava u svetu. Postavlja je tako glupa pitanja na koje je prosto bilo smiješno odgovarati. I ja sam uveren da prosječan Amerikanac, znači obični američki građanin, je mnogo pametniji od američkog vojnika.
Well, I had a chance to talk to American POWs. They were around. They were also around among us when there was a war over Kosovo and on the territory of Ukraine, and they all had the same story. And a very low level of intelligence, like this Cappy guy or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
So he presented himself as a very stupid man who just cannot understand things. He doesn't understand things. He posed very stupid questions. And I'm convinced that an average American, a regular American, is a lot smarter than an American soldier.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at this. This is probably true, yes.
Izvinite što se smijem, ali ovo je verovatno tačno.
because in the American military they brainwash people.
U američkoj vojsci zaista ispiru mozgovi ljudima.
Yeah. Because I had a conversation with a guy that I've known for about 10 years, he was in the U.S. Army for about 10 years. And he told me basically that the Ukrainian military has every right to join forces with Nazis because without the help of Nazis, the Russians will wipe out the Ukrainians.
Ja sam poznao jednog čoveka 10 godina, on je bio u vojsci i on mi je baš bio rekao da Ukrajina ima puno pravo da se priključi nacistima, da se udruži sa nacistima zato što sorry, what was the reason?
That the Ukrainians have every right to ally with Nazis because if they don't, then the Russians will wipe them out.
Ako se ne udruže, onda će da ih Rusi sve zbrišu.
Nemam komentara.
I have no comment.
Is he tired? Does he want to go to sleep? I mean, I don't want to take his time.
Jeste vi umorni, hoćete možda da prispavate malo, pošto ja uopšte neću da vam oduzimam više vremena.
Sve okej, pošto kad su ljudi normalni, meni je interesantno razgovarati, znaš. Jedno, leđa me malo bole, ali to ništa strašno, znači ja navikao sam na to, leđa, zub, kad ništa ne boli ja se probudim, ništa me ne boli, ja se bojim, reku nešto nije u redu.
It's completely fine. I'm completely fine.
Okay.
When people are normal, I don't have a problem talking at all. See, I have no problem at all. I have these back pains, but besides, sometimes I have tooth pains as well. But I'm used to having pains all the time. When I actually don't have any pains, I actually start to get worried, and I just wake up because I then start wondering if there's something even worse happening.
Now, how did you get those pains? I mean, is this from the war? Injuries from the war?
Odakle vam ti bolovi, jel to iz rata, su to ratne povrede?
Ja sam imao 5 ranjavanja, kako se to na srpskom kaže, iz automatskog oružja. 5 puta me metak pogodio, prostrelne rane, zatim mnogo slomljenih kostiju, izbijenih pleća su bila izbijena, kontuzija, to je na srpskom potres mozga. 3 potresa mozga sam imao. Jedan put su doktori rekli da su me jedva vratili iz mrtvih, mada se ja ničeg ne sjećam. Sjećam se kad je projektil pao i sjećam se kad se probudio u bolnici. Znači nema onih svetlih tunela o kojima pričaju.
No, I had 5 woundings from automatic weapons. I was hit by a bullet 5 times. I had puncturing wounds. I had a lot of bones broken. I had my back broken as well. I had concussions. I had 3 concussions. Mm-hmm. There was one instance in which the doctors have barely pulled me back. I don't remember a thing. I just remember getting wounded and then waking up on the operating table, but but there was no tunnels with lights or anything.
Znači u raj sigurno neću.
So I'm definitely not going to ending up in heaven.
Ending up in heaven? Oh, you're like a cat. You have 9 lives.
Znači vi ste kao mačke, imate 9 života.
Pa ja mislim da sam i potrošio svi 9 i još nekoliko rezervnih.
I think I've spent all 9 of them and probably a few spares as well.
I have a lot of cats myself.
Ja imam dosta mačaka i sam.
Da, i ja imam 4 u kući.
I've got 4 cats myself in my home.
I have 10.
Ja imam 10.
They're a pain in the
To verovatno zato što ne zna ukusno da je spremi. Da zna ukusno da je spremi, bilo bi ih manje.
That's because you can't cook them properly. If you could cook them, there would be fewer of them.
Oh my god.
O Bože. A on je vama bio rekao da su mačke teški gnjavatori.
Ne, mačke su dobre, ja ih volim, one su mnogo dobre.
Cats are good. I love them. They're very good.
They're very good animals, yes. Do you know what's interesting is I met a Croatian Catholic priest years ago, and he told me that he wanted to kill all cats and gas them to death. It was one of the weirdest conversations I've ever had.
Više godine ja sam bio sređenog rimokatoličkog sveštenika i on mi bio rekao da on hoće da uzme u gaskim komarama da pobije sve mačke. To je bilo jedna od najčudnijih stvari na koje sam leteo.
Pa treba njega ubiti.
He should be killed.
I'm enjoying this conversation a lot.
Ja vrlo mislio o ovom razgovoru.
You know, I noticed watching you, because I've been following you on social media for a long time, and I've noticed that you have a lot of animals. You have pigs, you have, I think, horses. What are you doing with the farm, exactly?
Ja sam već neko vreme pratio na društvenim mrežama i primetio sam da imate mnogo životinja, da imate svinje, da imate konje. Šta inače radite po gazdinstvu, seoskom imanju s tim životinjama?
Svinje nemam, konje nemam, konji nisu moji, to su konji od drugara, pošto ja jako volim životinje, pa sam mu pomagao oko konja. Mi smo imali...
I don't have any pigs, I have some horses, but those aren't my horses, they're horses of a friend of mine, I'm just helping him.
Ah, okay.
Da, mi smo
And what do you do with
imali-
the pigs? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Mi smo imali koze, jako dobre koze su naše bile kao mačke razmažene, međutim zbog obaveza smo ih morali prodati.
We had some goats, and the goats were very spoiled like cats, but we had to sell them.
Ah.
I sada
Evo,
idemo kod
ja.
komšije koji ima koze da se igramo sa njima. I žena voli životinje kao i ja.
And we keep playing with those goats, and my love just loves the goats and animals.
A sljedeće
Nice.
godine ćemo imati, kupit ćemo malo magarence, jedno koje će da bude tu sa našim kučićima, pošto imamo jednog velikog psa i jednog malog.
So we'll be acquiring some more animals. We're going to buy some dogs. We'll be having a large and a small dog.
I noticed you have a huge dog.
And we're gonna next spring we're gonna buy a donkey.
Oh. I noticed you have a huge dog.
Rekli ste da imate ogromnog psa.
You have a huge dog.
Gde to 85 kila ima otprilike.
He's got 85 kilos approximately.
He has a huge animal. And I noticed you have a big fat black cat as well.
To je ogromno stano životinje. Rekli ste da imate jednu baš veliku debelu mačku.
Dve.
No, two cats.
Oh, okay. And do you have chickens?
Ali imate piliće možda?
Trenutno nemamo zato što ovdje imam proizvodnju mesa gdje proizvodimo suvo meso po srpskim receptima i zbog zakona tu gdje je fabrika za to je mala fabrikica za preradu mesa ne sme da se drže domaće životinje, koze, svinje, kokoške, ništa od toga.
The thing is, we have a meat plant over here. We're producing meat. We are making dry meat according to Serbian recipes, but there's a law here. So there's a small meat plant, but the law is that states that we can't have domestic animals as well.
I see. I see. Yeah, I noticed that you make sausages. You have a sausage making.
Primetio sam da isto pravite kobasice, da imate pogon za pravljanje kobasice.
Najbolje su Rusi, niko ne pravi bolje kobasice i suvo meso od nas.
The best sausages in Russia, nobody makes better sausages than us.
The Hungarians have their own sausage. The Polish have their own sausage. I've tried Hungarian. I've tried Polish. I haven't tried Serbian yet.
Mađari imaju svoje kobasice, Poljaci imaju svoje kobasice. Probao sam mađarske kobasice, ali nisam imao priliku srpske kobasice.
Mađarske su dobre, problem mađarske hrane je što je previše ljuta.
The Hungarian sausages are good, but the problem with Hungarian food in general is that it's just too spicy.
I ljudi kada prave meso, ovo suvo meso kao što mi radimo, oni hoće brzo da zarade novac, a mi ga radimo polako. Znači od početka, znači od prve prerade mesa do tanjira prođe 4 do 5 meseci.
The thing is, when people make the dry meat, they want to make a quick buck.
Mm-hmm.
We instead make it slowly. From beginning to end, there's about a 4 or 5 months period of the actual meat process.
I sve je potpuno prirodno. Ekološki.
It's all completely natural, completely ecological.
No chemicals.
No chemicals.
Yep.
Nope.
Now, do you garden? Do you grow food?
Se bavite baštomanstvom i uzgajate svoju hranu?
Da, imamo svoje tamo paradajze, krastavčiće, papriku, sljedeće godine će biti još više. Žena isto sve voli oko kuće da radi, tako da prosto idealno. Našli smo drug druga.
Yeah, we are growing tomatoes and pickles and paprikas, so more paprikas all the time. My wife just loves taking care of all this, and we're an ideal match in that regard.
Moja žena voli pecanje, voli šumu, ne voli tržne centre.
My wife loves fishing and forest, and she doesn't like shopping at all.
Very nice. Very nice. I noticed a post that you did where you harvested mushrooms.
Primetio sam da ste objavili bili na društvenim mrežama neki post gde ste uzgoju pečurke, da su uzgajali pečurke.
Ne, nismo uzgajali pečurke, nego smo u šumi skupljali pečurke.
I know they weren't growing mushrooms, but they were just foraging for them.
Yeah, foraging, yes.
Izvinjam se, moja greška, tako imam shvatio.
Da, ovde oko nas su kasarne, to je otprilike zatvorena teritorija. Malo ljudi može da uđe da skuplja pečurke, njih ima mnogo i njih mnogo volim.
So we're in the barracks, and that's an enclosed off territory. Not many people can enter it, and there are a lot of mushrooms around here. We just love them, so we forage for them.
Awesome.
Poдрšci.
I remember in your interview with Chris Cappy, you said that your longest shot was 1,600 meters, and Chris Cappy basically called you a liar.
Sećamo vašeg intervju sa Chrisom Cappijem, da ste vi rekli da je vaš najdalji pogodak bio sa 1.500 metara.
1.600.
Chris vas je nazvao lažov.
But I looked into this and I found out that Chris Kyle, who's America's most famous sniper, his longest shot was over 1,900 meters. So I don't see how they could automatically just call you a liar for saying that.
Ali ja sam pogledao pomnije i pronašao sam da postoji Chris Kyle, koji je najpoznatiji američki strelac, koji je uspeo da pogodi na 1.900 metara. Tako da ja ne vidim kako je on mogu sada da vas automatski nazove lažovom.
Znate kako, kao što sam već rekao, ljudi veruju ono što žele da veruju. Kad se on počeo smejati na to, ja sam video razlog zašto je američka vojska izgubila svaki rat u koji je ušla. Znači, nijedan rat nisu dobili. U Afganistanu, u Iraku gube rat, u Vijetnamu su gubili rat. Zato što 1600 metara to je neka najobičnija distanca sa puškama koje se danas prave.
Already, people just believe what they wish to be true. When he started laughing, I saw the very reason why the American army lost every war. Afghanistan, Iraq, and Vietnam as well. Because 1,600 meters is a very normal distance to hit with the rifles that are being presently manufactured.
Inače, puška s kojom se koristim, s njom je postavljen svetski rekord na 3.500 i nešto metara.
The rifle I'm presently using has the world record of 3,500 meters for the longest recorded hit.
I'm gonna wait. And what's the name of the rifle? What's the name of that particular rifle?
Kako se zove ta konkretna puška?
Puška se zove Sumrak. Proizvođač je firma Labajev iz Rusije i sve njihove puške se rade, može se reći, ručno. To je 408. kalibar.
So, the rifle's name is Twilight. It's made by a manufacturing company called Labayev. What they do is they handcraft rifles. It's also .48 caliber.
Oni inače prave puške u raznom kalibru, međutim mi imamo te i, na primjer, kod njih su metkovi specijalno pravljeni za snajperske puške i jedan metak košta $105.
They make these rifles with varying calibers. We have these, for instance, the bullets themselves are custom made. A single bullet is worth $150.
Wow, that's amazing.
Da, neverovatno. Ja ne vidim šta tamo košta $105, ali toliko košta. Ali stvarno je metak je idealno urađen i svaki je jednak u potpunosti.
Well, I'm not seeing what's worth $105. That's my mistake. 105, not 150. But every bullet is handcrafted and it's gloriously made.
Now, when you made the shot at 1600 meters, was this the rifle that you were using, the Lobajev?
Kad ste vi napravili taj hitac na 1000,5 metara, je li to bilo upravo ta Labajeva puška?
1600 metara, da, to je baš ta puška bila.
It was 1600 meters, and yes, that's the very rifle.
Yes, because I looked up the Lobajev on Wikipedia. It says that it has a typical accuracy potential at ranges exceeding 2000 meters. So, yeah.
Ja sam to pogledao, bio na Wikipediji i tu piše otvoreno da je tu zona domet na kojoj može preći da se gađa oko 2000 metara, tako da ne imamo čovjek problem tu.
Pa znate kako, ja sam već rekao, on se smeje zato što je, za njih je to nešto nezamislivo. Znači, podcenjivati protivnika, to je nešto najstrašnije što može da bude. Zato se i gube ratovi.
Well, he was laughing because he was doing the very thing that's crippling, underestimating one opponent. That's the worst thing you can do.
Yes, that's
Da,
what he
i
was
na
doing.
primjer, ja sam sada obučavao na Donbasu obične, znači rezerviste, koristili smo puške iz 1944. godine Mosine. Za mjesec dana sa običnom puškom, sa običnim patronom, naučili smo i da gađaju na 900 metara u grudnu mišenj. Znači grudnu to je tako. I gađali su 10 metaka i 10 pogodaka. 1944. godine proizvodno.
Pardon. So I was training reservists a while ago, and we were using rifles manufactured in 1944. And they would spend a month with those rifles, and they would learn to hit the target at the range of 900 meters and to hit them in the chest. Basically, they had this within the chest range, and they would hit 10 out of 10 bullets.
To je sve stvar treninga, sve se može postići, samo se treba trenirati.
It's not a matter of training, you can achieve pretty much anything, it's just a matter of training, as long as you train for it.
When you were fighting in the movie, they show how you had this duel between yourself and this Ukrainian sniper.
U tom filmu pokazuju tu kako ste imali taj dvoboj između vas i tog ukrajinskog snajpera, smerista.
Can you tell us more about that guy that you were in a duel with?
Možete nam kažete još nešto više o tom čovjeku s kim ste imali taj dvoboj?
Pa mi smo se dugo dopisivali preko socijalnih mreža bili. U jednom boju ja sam ubio njegovih 4 učenika i posle toga on je krenuo u lov na mene.
We had a correspondence over social networks. And there was this one battle in which I've killed 4 students of his. This is when he started developing a grudge for me.
I see.
It sounded grudge start.
I see. And he said some pretty horrible things to you, I remember in the film. Something about like killing your family or something like that.
Da, u tom filmu bio rekao neke užasne stvari. Vama rekao je da će da vam pobije porodicu.
Znate kako, meni mnogo ljudi preti, ali kad je to rekao, tad je već sebi potpisao bio smrtnu presudu, zato što meni porodica nije isključivo u Srbiji, znači ja imam mnogo dece koje sam krstio na Donbasu i oni su također moja porodica, a on je specijalizovao se na ubistvu civila.
Well, a lot of people deliver threats to me, threaten me. But when he said this thing, he signed his own death warrant. My family is not exclusively in Serbia. I have a Christian. I'm a godfather to plenty of kids in Donbass, and he is specialized in killing civilians.
Jednostavno sam znao da neću otići dok njega ne nađem. Ali on je uvek slao neke druge, međutim, malo smo ga namamili, tamo bili u zasedu i tu je završio svoju karijeru.
I simply knew that I just had to find him. He would always send somebody else, but we lured him into an ambush. That's where he finished his career.
I šta vam mogu reći, mnogo ukrajinskih vojnika, tamo ima realno pravih vojnika, tamo nisu svi nacisti, tamo ima vojnika koji veruju da ratuju protiv Rusije koja hoće sve da im oduzme. I ti obični vojnici, oni mrze uglavnom te naciste i takve kao što je bio taj koji je sebe predstavljao kao mariupoljski bog. I mi smo često dobijali informacije od samih ukrajinskih vojnika koje su nam bile korisne.
Well, there are plenty of Ukrainian soldiers. There are real soldiers over there. They're not Nazis. That just believe that they're defending their country. Those ordinary soldiers just hate those Nazis. There are some of them that are like that, and they hate Nazis like this, the God of Mariupol guy. We had a lot of tips from those very same Ukrainian soldiers about him.
I see. Now, let me ask you, the question is slightly different, not off topic, but slightly different. In the United States, the view on the war is that Ukraine is the victim, Russia is the bad guy.
U Sjedinjenim Državama imamo sad tu celu priču da je Ukrajina žrtva, da je Rusija nezlikovac.
Because Ukraine got invaded.
Jer je Ukrajina izvršena invazija.
So, what do you tell Americans when you're trying to explain to them why Russia was justified in what it did?
Šta vi kažete Amerikancima kako ćete im jednostavno predočiti da je Rusija sasvim opravdana u tome što radila?
Vidite, stvar je u tome što Amerikanci gledaju kao konj kad mu se stavi ovako na oči.
The thing with America is that they're seeing things like a horse with those nozzles on his face.
Ako hoćemo da pričamo pravilno, znači ako je ta teorija da je neko ko je napao drugu državu loš, setite se samo da je ceo NATO pakt bombardovao Jugoslaviju. Da li je NATO bio loš i Amerika?
If we're going to talk proper like that, if this theory that whoever attacks the country is the bad guy, just remember what NATO did in Yugoslavia, and doesn't mean that NATO is bad and the America is bad then.
Imali smo priliku da gledamo kako američki general laže, znači da Irak ima atomsko oružje i posle se dokazalo da nema. Amerika je prosto uništila Irak kao državu i Libiju i Siriju. Da li je tu Amerika bila loša zato što je ona napala?
So we had an opportunity to just watch American general lie that Iraq has atomic weapons, and then it turned out that it hasn't. America just annihilated Iraq and demolished it as a country, as well as Libya and Syria. So is America bad because of those actions?
Znači stvari ne treba gledati tako, stvari treba gledati široko i tada sve bude jasno.
Things shouldn't be observed like that. Things should be observed widely so that things become clear.
Za mnoge Amerikance Rusija je u ratu tek od 24. februara, međutim ne zaboravite da su Ukrajinci bombardovali teritorije Donbasa 8 godina pre toga. I ako je u demokratskom svetu referendum nešto što je pravilno, što izražava volju građana, narod na Donbasu je preko referenduma izabrao da se odcepi od Ukrajine.
So for Americans, Russia has been at war since February the 24th. But don't forget that there was bombings 8 years for the whole 8 years beforehand. And if this democratic world holds referendums as so important and sacred, and the people have elected to join Russia and for independence, then how do we observe this?
I ako gledamo na primjer na referendum, postojala je država Srbija i Crna Gora posle razvala, kad se rasturila Jugoslavija. Crna Gora je provela referendum i odvojila se od Srbije. Srbija nije pošla u rat protiv Crne Gore zato što su oni na referendumu rešili da žive odeljeni.
So, at referendums alone, there was after Yugoslavia, there was a union of countries called Serbia and Montenegro for a while, and Montenegro had a referendum and voted to secede from it, but Serbia didn't go to war over Montenegro splitting from it over a referendum.
Za zapad odvajanje Crne Gore je bio legalni referendum, a za referendum na Donbasu je bio nelegalni. Znači, ili je zakon jednak za sve ili zakona ne postoji.
So for the West, the issue of Montenegro was a legal one, while Donbass just wasn't considered a legal referendum and a legal secession. There has to be a law that treats everybody equally. Otherwise, there's no law.
I remember. Go ahead. Sorry.
No.
Oh, I remember in the film, in the end of the movie, you spoke with an old man who was an electrician, who said that he continues to be shot at by Ukrainian fighters, and you promised that you would help him. And
I'm sorry. The old man was a what?
An electrician.
Electrician.
Yes, electrician. And he was telling Mr. Berich that he keeps getting shot at by Ukrainian fighters. And you told this old man that you would help him, that you would do everything that you can to help him. And you began to weep. And I'm wondering why, what made you cry? What made you weep?
U onom rat snajpera, pominjali, tu je bio jedan stariji čovjek koji je bio električar. I on je bio rekao da su njega pucali i rekao je da Ukrajinci stalno pucaju na njega. I tu pred kraj samog dokumentarca su vam bile pošle suze na oči. Šta je to što je izazvalo te suze?
Olja nije pokazala ceo snimak iz kuće tog čoveka.
Did not show the entire recording of that man's house.
On je živeo u kući, a preko puta je bila kuća u kome su mu živeli sin, snaja i unuka.
So he lived in a house, but across the road from that house, there was a house in which his son, his daughter-in-law, and his granddaughter lived. I
on je mene odveo u sobu da mi pokaže sliku. Na toj slici su bili oni dok su bili živi. U njihovu kuću je priletela ukrajinska raketa i oni su svi tamo poginuli. I ta njegova bol bukvalno iz njega izlazila u mene i ja jednostavno nisam mogao zadržati suze kad je on pričao o tome.
So he took me to that house and showed me a picture of them. That was a picture of all of them while they were being alive. They were alive, and there was a Ukrainian missile that just flew into their house, and they all died. His pain was just seeping from him, and I've absorbed it, and I just couldn't withstand it, and this is what forced those tears.
I see.
Ja sam tamo slučajno, u stvari nije slučajno da sam došao kod njega. Moj zadatak je bio uništavati snajperiste sa druge strane koji su pucali po civilima. Da bi mogao pravilno sve uraditi, morao sam da imam potpunu informaciju, znači odakle pucaju, kako se ponašaju, i često sam razgovarao sa ljudima koji su potpadali po taj snajperski ogonj sa druge strane.
I wasn't there by accident. My assignment was to destroy all the snipers that were shooting at the civilians. In order to do this properly, I had to have all the information. I would often talk to the people who fell under the sniper fire from the other side.
I takvih razgovora je bilo mnogo, međutim Olja nije sve snimila, zato što na mnoga mesta gdje je pucala artiljerija, mi smo se trudili da je ne vodimo. Ona je imala oko 700 sati snimljenog materijala.
So there was a lot of these conversations. Olja did not record all of them because there was a lot of places which were under artillery fire. So we took efforts not to bring her to such areas. She overall, taken all together, she made about 700 hours that she recorded. Her footage was 700 hours.
And can you tell us about, if you can, about some of the disturbing interviews that she took that weren't put in the movie?
Možete nam kažete, ako možete, da nam kažete o nekim od tih uznemirujućih razgovora koje je ona snimila, ali koji na kraju nisu završili u montažu.
Pa ne, u stvari ja ne mogu da setim šta je ona sve snimala, zato što ja je prvo nisam verovao. Mislio sam da je on američki špijun.
Well, I can't remember all of them. The thing is, I just wasn't keeping track of all the things that she was taking, recording, and because I also at that time I really believed that she was an American spy.
A zatim je Lukašenko, predsjednik Republike, rekao da treba da joj pomognemo u svemu, jer to je jedina šansa da se vidi naša strana nekako na zapadu. I bukvalno kroz neko vreme jednostavno kao da nje nema, znači i mnogo stvari ima o kojima smo mi pričali i koje su bile snimljene, ali ja prosto ne mogu da se setim detalje, ja ne znam više kad je ona bila, kad nije bila tamo. Ja se ujutro budim, stavim bubicu, da li je ona tu ili nije, nevažno, jednostavno već je postalo stvar navike.
So Harchenko told us that we have to give her every support possible. And he insisted because he said that was the only chance we had to show our side of the story to the West. And it was lit, and for a while she was literally gone. There are a lot of people, things that we discussed about that I just cannot remember at this point. I don't know when she was at my side or not. I had this habit of just waking up and taking those earbuds and just to check up on her.
Da, i tamo gde su bili, posebno gde su bila ubijena deca, gde se ja morao da idem i da razgovaram i sa roditeljima i da vršim balističku proveru od kuda je gađano, jednostavno nisam vodio zato što to na psihiku deluje jako loše, a devojkama ne treba da vide tako nešto.
It was especially, there was a special case in which kids were murdered. So there was a call to talk to the parents, and it was my job to make political calculations on how it was done. I didn't bring her to those cases because seeing kids get murdered is just extremely bad for the psyche, and girls just shouldn't see something like that.
And how were these kids killed, if you don't mind me asking?
Давайте да питам, како ста деца убиена?
Iz snajpera, znači koliko sam ja video ubijenih iz snajpera, to je bilo 4 dece. Većina druge je ubijena bila artiljerijom. Tamo gdje sam ja išao da vršim analize sa ljudima koji se bave tim, sa sledstvenim komitetom, to je tih 4 koji su bili ubijeni iz snajpera. Znači, morao sam da razgovaram s njihovim roditeljima kojima je bilo jako teško, ali oni su bili spremni da razgovaraju sa mnom zato što su znali ko sam ja i znali su da će njihovo dete biti osvećeno 100%.
They were killed by sniper. 4 kids. There was 4 kids. Most of the other kids were killed by artillery. But these sniper shootings were the cases in which I went to go and went to make these analyses. There were also people with me that were there as forensic experts who were assigned by the investigative committee. Of those 4 were killed by snipers, and the parents took it really hard, and they were prepared to talk to me, because they knew that means that there's a 100% chance that those kids will be avenged.
And were these kids murdered by the guy who called himself the god of Mariupol?
Jel tu decu bio ubio taj čovjek koji se sam sebe zove Mariupolski bog?
Jednog.
One of them was.
And why would these Ukrainian snipers murder children? What's their motive?
I zašto bi ti ukrajinski snajperi ubijali decu? Koja je tu njihova motivacija?
Jeste gledali sad video, na primjer, toga što je izbo čoveka sa nožem, ili video ovih što su pucali ruskim vojnicima u kolena? Koja im je motivacija za to? Za njih to su ruski i ruski ne treba da žive.
Have you seen the video footage, for example, of the stabbing of that one man with a knife? What's the motivation for this? Well, for them, these are Russians, and Russians shouldn't live.
Na teritoriji Ukrajine prodaju se torte, na njima je dete, i to ima na YouTube-u, može da se nađe, na njima je rusko dete, i oni se smeju kako toj deci seku glave, kako im seku ruke, i šta više, sada na majicama nose natpise što više mi ubijemo ruskih, to će manje morati da ih ubijaju naša deca.
So, on the territory of Ukraine, there are cakes being sold depicting kids, and you can see this on YouTube. There are cakes depicting Russian kids, and everybody's laughing about the notion of cutting those and laughing about the notion of cutting those kids' heads, and cutting their arms. And furthermore, there's a fashion of wearing T-shirts that say, "The more Russians we kill, the fewer Russians our kids will have to kill."
I ako računate koliki je broj snajperista u ukrajinskoj armiji, taj procenat koji je pucao na decu, to je jako mali procenat, tako da ludaka ima svuda, tako da ja ne mogu da objasnim nikad razlog zašto bi neka digao pušku na dete, međutim streljaju.
If you observe how many snipers there are in their army, the percentage of those shooting at kids is actually very small. You have lunatics just about anywhere. I cannot explain for the life of me the reason why somebody would just pick up a rifle to shoot down a kid, but they do shoot.
It's almost like the spirit of Bandera never left.
Tako da stvarno izgleda kao da duh bandere nikad nije ni otišao.
Pa i nije otišao, zašto je on živeo na zapadnoj Ukrajini? Njega su prosto podigli, glavni trg u Kijevu se zove trg Stepana Bandere, stadion Stepana Bandere, Šuhevića, tako da tamo to živi.
Well, it never left. It didn't leave. Because it is lived on in Western Ukraine, they've erected monuments to Bandera. The main city square is called Bandera Square, and there are museums as well. A stadium as well called according to Bandera, and also Šuhević as well.
Ali ja se opet vraćam procentima, znači tih zločinaca u ukrajinskoj armiji nema tako mnogo, ako računamo tu veličinu ukrajinske armije. Oni sad imaju oko 600.000 ljudi pod oružjem. Kao što sam već 100 puta rekao u toku ovog razgovora, ludaka ima svuda, ali da, ima tamo tih nacista, međutim procentualno to je mali broj, ali mali broj iznosi nekih 30 do 40.000. To je ogromna cifra ako gledate da 100 ljudi sa oružjem.
Well, I keep coming back to the percentages. These war criminals are not as many we take the whole size of the Ukrainian army into account. There's an overall 600,000 men, armed men. And like I've said already 100 times in this conversation alone, there are lunatics just about anywhere. There are these Nazis over there who are, in terms of percentage, a very small number. But this small number it comes down to about 30 or 40,000 men. And this is a huge number when we're talking about armed men.
Well, that's pretty much what the size of the OUN was during the Second World War.
I bila veličina ukrajinske nacističke armije u Drugom svjetskom ratu.
Što? Nisam
I don't think you heard.
Izgleda su se poklopili, pa vas nisam čuo.
Ne, rekli ste Drugi svjetski rat, ali nisam čuo pre toga šta ste rekli.
To je otprilike jeste bila veličina vojske ukrajinskih nacista za vreme Drugog svjetskog rata.
Da, otprilike tako, oni su izvali policaji.
It is approximately that way. They've called them the Polizei.
The police.
Ne, policaj.
Not the police, but Polizei.
Polizei, okay. Could he give us an example of an intense battle that he went through?
Možete nam dati neki primjer neke intenzivne bitke kroz koju ste prošli?
Debaljevo, Ilovajsk, oslobađanje ruske granice, mnogo bitaka ima. Znaš, rat je kao rat, tu ne treba ulaziti u detalje, on je jedno zlo i znači ako treba se završiti, moraš da ratuješ da bi ga završio. Znači tu posebno s takvim ljudima, jer tu bez uništavanja tog nacizma neće se završiti. A sad ja da pričam o nekim posljednjim bitkama, mislim da nema smisla, o tome treba da pričaju istoričari u budućnosti.
Well, there were several, for instance, Ilovaisk, the liberation of the Russian border. But war is war. It doesn't need going into details. It's an evil. And if it has to be waged, then you have to wage it in order to finish it. Especially with people like these. Without destroying Nazism, this isn't going to end. And there's no sense in me talking about this. It's the historians that should be eventually talking about this.
I čuvam kao materijal za sljedeću knjigu. Ne treba se pozivati.
And I'm also keeping material for my next book that should be published.
Oh, okay. Now will there be any books translated into English?
Biti tu nekih knjiga koje će biti prevedene na engleski jezik?
Pa, ova knjiga koja je prevedena na ruski jezik, ona je nas bukvalno finansirala, može se reći ceo rat, ona je prodana, znači kad smo preveli to u novac koji smo dobijali, prodana je za $97.000 za svo to vreme od kad je prevedena na ruski i sav taj novac je otišao na pomoć našim ranjenima, na kupovinu materijala, na pomoć dečijim domovima u Donjecku. Tako da bukvalno kad sam bio izašao iz rata, iako sam tamo zaratio bio mnogo para na toj knjizi, ostao sam bio bez jedne rublje.
So there was this book that we translated to Russian that financed the whole war for us. It was sold for about $97,000 and for the whole war. All this money has been used to help the wounded, to buy equipment, and for the help for financing foster homes for the children in Donetsk. When I came back from the war, after using all this money for these goals, after I came back from the war, I didn't have a single ruble to me.
Da, i na primjer moja snajperska puška, lično moja, koja je, ja sam kupio od Ukrajinaca za $8.000.
So I bought my own personal rifle that I'm using, the sniper rifle, for $8,000.
Znači knjiga je jako dobra i ja se nadam da će neko prevesti na engleski, ali ja engleski ne znam, tako da s tim nemam vremena da se zanimam.
The book is very good, and I do hope that it's going to be eventually translated to English language, but I just don't know. I don't know the English language, so I can't do it myself.
If it's translated to English, man, I would totally buy it.
Ako bude prevedena na engleski, ja bih apsolutno kupio.
Budite distributer te knjige za Ameriku.
Then you be the distributor, the American distributor for it.
I'll definitely advertise it. I'll tell people to buy it.
Ja bih definitivno reklamirao, ja ću pričati ljudima da kupim.
Buy it.
Ja bih definitivno kupio.
Maybe make some translations, and I'll try to push for people to buy it, and then we'll see how well it does.
Možda i mogu da prevedem, pa ću da ganjam ljude da kupe, pa ćemo vidjeti kako će da...
Pa Nikola jako brzo kuca na tastaturi, ja mislim da bi on preveo veoma brzo.
Ja sam to i radio profesionalno nekoliko puta, mogu ja da vam pomognem, možda pričamo to njih to. I just said that Berrić said that I'm typing very quickly on the keyboard, that I might be able to type it for him, and I said, fine, we can talk about it, I can do what I've done.
You actually could do that. You definitely have the capability.
Kad je rekao da bih to mogu i definitivno, molim vas me ne trebate da hvalim sebe potpuno neopusno.
His English, tell him your English is better than mine, really.
Ted kaže da je moj engleski bolji od njegovog. Ted, don't embarrass me, please.
No, really. I mean, serious. I think we've talked. I think the interview is pretty good. I think we've got enough for the interview. But please tell him not to hang up. I'm gonna end the stream, but tell him please not to hang up.
Kaže Ted, znači evo već mi pričamo, ima tu negde 3 sata ili koliko već i sve je sjajno. Ted predlaže da okončamo stream, ali molim vas, najljubaznije apelujem na vas samo da okončamo stream, ali da ostanemo na vezi još malo.
I'm gonna end the stream. Okay, guys.
On će sada završiti svoj stream.
I'm very happy that so many people from Serbia are on my chat. I hope you guys continue to look at my videos.
Zakanči ovaj
so I'm gonna stop.
Ostavi na svjaci. Vyključi YouTube, no mi što bi mi na svjaci bili.
Окей. Так, все, тогда.
I'm gonna stop streaming.
Just a moment, please.
Ну, попрощайся, наверное, со зрителями.
I'm gonna
Sada, momci, doviđenja.
end the broadcast. And I'm gonna stop recording.
Samo da Ljoša isključi naš